The gondola was put in 1965, and was actually the first detachable lift that was here at Sugarloaf, USA, and it really opened up the mountain a lot as a world-class ski area, I think, because of you could see it from the road, and we cut the gondola line, which was quite wide, and made it skiable under the lift, and it also showed the more expert trails on the side of it, Winner's Way and Bubble Cuffer and Wedge, which is quite famous now with the snowmaking on it. Actually about a year and a half. Actually the trail was cut earlier, but there wasn't an awful lot of lag time. And then when they cut the trails in 64 or 5 coming down the front face, it really made a projection like you see from what we call Oh My Gosh Corner.
Yeah.
It really stimulated people's interest looking up, and they could see a lot of trails, whereas with the little one that we had at the very beginning with was Old Winner's Way going off to the left, which was a main route to ski the snowfields. I think it was an awfully nice, well-made lift. It was made in Germany. All the stuff came over in a boat. I had the privilege of helping putting it all together, and it took up like 3 parking lots, and once the significance of it was the vertical that it presented going up over the front face. It was in 2 stages, mainly because we do get a lot of wind on top, and if we couldn't run the upper part, why then you could always run the lower part, which made it something real nice. And once the cars got going, it was a 4-passenger gondola, which was exciting, and the colors of the cars, yellow, blue, and red. It was a nice smooth ride, very comfortable ride in and out of the wind, and we could also run it in the summertime for fall foliage and weekends, and actually made money. Well, in the summertime, it was generally just walking from the base, from where the gondola let you out, up to the summit. And there you could look down towards the snowfields. You could look into the town of Kingfield and look off towards the Portland area, and on a clear day you could look right into Portland Harbor. I think probably it had a lot to do with helping that factor, and because it got more people here. It got them up into more vertical, some steeper trails, and at that particular time that went in 1965 or 66, I think the only other gondola in the east here was the small one, the little 2-phase one at Wildcat Mountain. So this was really a step way up compared to the surface lifts for people and skiers, and it really opened the mountain up so much that and people would wait in line to get on the gondola, where sometimes on the T-bars they could have probably beat the ride, but they liked the gondola.
Yeah.
And it went to the summit. It was the only lift that went to the summit, which also increased the advertisement on opening the snowfields, which no other ski area in the east had claim of that. No, I think it was a welcome. The attitude of the workers was great. It was tough sledding in January, and almost didn't have it going that first year on the upper stage because of the cold weather and the wind, and they was erecting steel and climbing it and trying to put bolts and washers and nuts, and it was pretty near an impossible task. But the president at the time was Rand Stoll, who was the head of Stoll and McGregor of Dixfield. It was a trucking firm, and his ambition and his goal was to make sure that the gondola was going to be put in, and he was a guy that was cracking the whip, trying to get it done, even though it was almost an impossible thing to do, but they did do it, and it did run that first year to the summit. Well, of course, being here at Sugarloaf was my whole life, and I was a patrol director from 1955 until 95. I had a lot of memories about the gondola, and of course patrol from it a lot of times. But I think the forward progression that the American Ski Company has had in the last couple of years on the mountain has been great. As we know, it can be a great lift, but it has its service time. That service time is now, and life expectancy of the lift is outdated. So we're looking forward to a new way of the summit, which may be less windy, more operable time than the gondola was, and yet put a number of people up where the skiing is great and can access the snowfields. I think it's great. Well, really, you know, I look at it that the lift has done a wonderful job, that it's produced a lot of safe skiers going up the hill, and produced a lot of memories for people that wouldn't take other lifts. They'd always want the gondola. And but I think that time has changed, and it was a great lift, made of great quality, heavy steel, and a lot of work went into putting it up for sure. And so I have a lot of memories. I mean, even putting it up. I mean, hauling cement with a, you know, we had a pickup truck hooked to a, you know, 4 or 5 part line, hooked to a bucket with cement and lowered it on a makeshift deal that we put tripods on and run a cable off some of the T-bar shivs and dump the cement in the holes going down that way. And of course now they do it all with a helicopter, although we did have a helicopter put it in, fly the steel in. Well, I remember painting it, and I used to have the job of painting it, and I was called the Orange Man for many summers. And then they went to black. That was kind of an ongoing thing, and I do remember that being on the patrol in the winter and painting, all the painting on the lifts in the summer, was that I figured that there was only 7 perfect days on the summit in the summer, and for painting. And the rest of them, you always had, you know, clouds. It would be foggy, unsuitable for painting, cold weather and this sort of thing. So we tried to get the upper part done on the good days as much as we could. And that's a major undertaking, painting a lift that's that long.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for your time. Some great stuff here.
Uh-huh.
The archives.
Well, yeah.